So we will see. So we're super excited. We're here in Pennsylvania. I'm with Shannon and Teresa, and we are going to QVC tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard. Doing our new collection of gorgeous toppers. So if you have not worn a topper before, so Shannon, you both have amazing stories.
Yes.
Dealing with hair loss and with cancer and things like that. And so you've always worn wigs since you had since you went through the cancer. And now we Lon Bongiorno, who we loved, with Lisa, Gwen, Romy, and Joe, fell in love with Shannon instantly. She's become instant beauty bestie. Lon Bongiorno is my beauty wife. Teresa Lane is the designer for Hair You Wear and Hairdo, and we launched Hairdo 20 back for this collection. I couldn't have done it without Teresa Lane. So for Teresa Lane to be on air with me today is just incredible. Tuesday, Louisiana, yes, we love that. I'm hungry now. Three together, and Teresa and I designed, we launched Hairdo in 2004. And now we've come up with this great new collection. You know, being in the industry now 30 years, one of the things that I found that women were looking for the most was really full top of their head, and most things that were created and that we had in the past to really put hair down in here. You can put extensions right up to the top as long as you have some of your parting on the top, but that's not for everybody. It's not comfortable. Experimented with before, and something I've used in the past, but we wanted to reimagine it, and we wanted to kind of reinvent it. I wanted to create something that was natural and realistic. We're in front of a light in front of the window, and look at that realistic amount of shine. This is not going to be a piece that looks like you're wearing a hair extension. That looks like the back of somebody's head. Shannon has one on, and you are the medium blonde balayage.
In the 14-inch.
In the 14-inch. Teresa is wearing Cinnabon in the 10-inch.
No, the 10-inch.
In the 10-inch. Yes. And then we also have a 6-inch. So the length of the pieces is all designed on current cuts that I'm doing on my celebrity clientele, in the salon, for magazine shoots. So there's a 6-inch, which is a bit of like a pixie, that really great, kind of my length of hair. Then there's the 10. Oh, so we're representing all the lengths here, even though I'm not wearing one right now. I should be.
There's one, Ken.
I can put that one on. So I am the 6-inch, Teresa's the 10-inch,
Yes.
and then Shannon is the 14-inch. So
yes.
we have 12 different colors. And I want to say, you know, when I launched Hairdo 20 years ago, I based all the colors on colors that I was doing at that time. Teresa and I have gone through and reimagined all of the colors. This collection has a brand new color combination. We have 6 to 12 different colors, shades in every one of the colors. We've gone through and now rooted and done a shadow root and balayage in order to make that really look modern and very up to the moment, very current. So there are 12 different shades. We'll show them to you on air tonight, so tune in or go online, and you can, I know the product are there now. You can go online and choose your color. And the one thing I will say to you now is that we decided to use the names that I launched 20 years ago with Hairdo, because we have such an amazing community at Hairdo, and these are the colors you're familiar with. So the names are colors that you're familiar with. That's a beginning place for you. I want you to look at that and say, okay, I know medium warm brown, but then look even further and look at what my medium warm brown is, because I've added more tones, and like I said, I've added shadow, low lighting, a little bit of rooting and things like that to make it look really natural. Look how beautiful that looks. So we just had somebody in here a second ago, Miss B.
Miss B.
Who's here, and she came in and she was asking us about hair, telling us her hair journey and what she had gone through. So we're actually going to bring her back a piece tonight. Soft black for Miss B in the 6-inch.
That's right.
And then she said to Shannon, "You look great." And then you said to her,
it's the hair topper.
She didn't believe it.
She's going through hair loss, and this is a great option for women over 50, thyroid, menopausal hair loss, hair growth back from cancer, which is my issue, a little bit of problem in the recedes. This is your answer.
I love that. I love that you mentioned the receipts. So one of the things that Teresa and I did is, so this is a poly material here, and this you can wear all the way up to the hairline, and this is going to help it stick. to your scalp and to your hair, this material here. But one thing I asked Teresa to do was ask the factory to actually press this a bit more to get a little bit more projection forward so you get that camouflage. The way that our hair normally falls here is it is coming forward. Normally when it's injected into the poly, it goes in a different direction. We jetted it forward, and then I also added contour tabs that you might be familiar with if you wear a wig that you normally use down here to contour to the shape of this area. We now have contour tabs just in the recedes. So what that's going to do is give you that really contoured bespoke shape to your head shape just in this area and help it to lay considerably flatter. This is a hand-tied mono top. And you can see that here there's a T-parting. What that T-parting allows you to do is comb from the center to either side for a side part, or center all the way down the middle for a center part. So Shannon is wearing a bit of skew from the center over to her parting over here, which looks fantastic. And Teresa's wearing it on the other side.
That's right.
And mine's down the middle.
And these are very workable and pliable with your hands, the heat from your hands, because you wanted a little bump in the front.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I did it like this.
A little bit of heat from the hands pops it right up.
Do you want to take one off and show the kids?
Do
Do you guys want to see the magic?
Do I really
Does anybody want to see the magic? Teresa's going to take hers off now just to show you how quick and easy it is. Teresa is a pro. So Teresa's cut a fringe into her. So you can cut these. I have a video coming up. You can cut these like your own hair. I mean, check that out. How incredible is that?
And now I'll put it back on.
So using just the camera, not a mirror, she's putting on. They're incredibly forgiving. She's cut, like we said, a fringe into this.
Yes, I did.
And look how great that is. That quick and that easy. What we worked, Teresa, this took us 2 years
Yes,
to complete this. And Shannon, this is something that you mentioned. They're incredibly lightweight. That doesn't mean there's not coverage. You have more than enough coverage here to cover the finest of hair, but it's believable, it's natural. I've always wanted to create hair pieces and accessories and toppers for women so that when somebody looked at them, like they said to Shannon a second ago, wow, you look beautiful. Not you're wearing a hairpiece or just your hair looks great. I wanted you to look great.
Yeah.
And that's what I think these do.
And the difference, if you are scared or you have some intrepidation, these are very user-friendly. There's very little, you just pop them on and you go.
Very little
Learning curve.
Yeah.
That's right.
What I like, okay, now I'm going to embarrass myself. But what I like to do with them is I like to
Let's.
start in the center.
You're entitled.
Clip it just on behind my hairline. And you can see this is not my exact color match, but because of the color blending that Teresa and I did, it blends in. I mean, it's great already.
Yeah.
I might have to grow my hair out. So by pulling the 5 pressure sensitive clips down, you really want to contour to the shape of your head. Then I go through last and get the tabs and really get that into my recedes. And what I like to do too, for anyone that maybe has a different parting, is hold the back of the piece so it stays comfortable, and then brush forward and create your part.
There you go, Ken. You could get a man bun.
I mean,
That's right, he could.
I actually really like the long hair. But it's that quick and easy, and because of the shadow rooting that we did, it's very forgiving. This blends. Again, there's 6 to 12 different shades. The color's amazing. And again, these color combinations have not been done before. We've taken colors from the family that we created years ago, your favorite colors, and we just combined them to today, to what I'm doing, and then we added the shadow rooting and a bit of low lighting and highlighting. But even with my incredibly short hair, that fills in and covers.
Yeah. Even from the back.
We look like cousins now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're wearing the medium blonde too.
Yeah.
But even from the back, it gives you good coverage.
And that quick and easy. This one was just out of the box. One of the things, and I have a couple of videos on my Instagram and Facebook as well, but one of the things that I showed you is that because this is a synthetic fiber and the most true to life synthetic fiber, I'm so blown away. I've been using these on my celebrity clients, and what I like to do is when you put it on initially, because it is a synthetic fiber, it's going to have a bit of memory. So heat it up with the blow dryer and allow that polymer, that poly as well as this fiber to take the shape of your head.
No more than 300.
No, 300, 310, right? Or 350?
350.
And allow this to take the shape and the contour of your head, and you'll really notice a big difference when you do that. Use the heat to shake it up and part it to the way that you wear it, and it's going to look incredibly natural.
And the more you wear it, the heat from your own body will mold it to your head, and it'll fit nicely the longer you wear it.
Exactly.
What I love too about the mono top, that hand tying, is you get to see your scalp. You can see the color of my skin through there, and it's so important to me that everybody's skin tone is different. And so in order to see your skin tone and your complexion come through the topper, that also makes it look very natural and very realistic. So we spent a lot of time, Teresa and I, redistributing the weight of the product. I found that most of the products had teasing and all of this bulk up here, and I'd said you would make people look like a porpoise. It was all kind of up in here and not natural, and I didn't think it was very beautiful. So we changed all of that. But the mono top, the hand tying, one thing I want to point out, that's 1 knot per strand.
That's right.
So that's incredible. The amount of time it takes to hand knot this entire T-top here, but that's 1 T-top. For Teresa.
Yeah, T-top.
That's 1 strand of hair per knot, and that's a really, I don't know if you can see, but look how, that's, I mean, I'm going to get even closer. Look how beautiful that is.
It is beautiful.
So natural, so realistic, and this is what it looks like from behind. So the length and the shape of these, what I wanted to do with these as well is, most extensions are to exactly that, extend the hair. And a lot of women, like both of your hairstyles, Miss B that just came in a second ago, they don't necessarily want longer hair. They want thicker, more voluminous, more youthful looking hair. And that doesn't mean we're dialing back the clock on our age, but youthful hair is voluminous hair.
That's right.
And so that's what we're looking for. So I based all of these lengths on current haircuts, so you don't have to have just very long hair. So again, mine would be the 6-inch,
Right.
the 10-inch, and then the 14-inch. So if you're anywhere in these lengths, this is the look for you. But like you saw with Teresa, she cut the fringe in.
Yeah.
So you can take this to your stylist. It cuts like real hair, like human hair.
It does.
You can layer it, you can contour it, and like Teresa said, you can heat style this with a straightener just to smooth it out if you want a bit more, up to 350 degrees.
Gwen pointed out actually too, she would like to extend the life of her color. So when the gray starts coming out, she
Perfect.
doesn't want to
Yes.
go and keep putting color on her
Right.
hair. So put on a topper, you're good to go for another month.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to know.
Your color's
That's
fresh.
Yeah.
And these are great colors, and I love that you brought up the color because of the 6 to 12 shades that we chose to put into this new collection, but then also with the shadow rooting. It really makes it, if you look at Shannon's hair, it's not an exact match. We're not looking for an exact match. A complement is unique. It's a blend. I think when things are a bit unique, it becomes more
Exactly.
complementary.
Yes.
And even though that's not an exact match, you can't tell where her hair ends and where, I can't even say it to look closely, and where the piece begins. So it's
Right.
that forgiving. So I say to you, when you're looking for the color, when you go online or when you're watching us tonight, and when you go online, look at a color, maybe similar to one that the name, similar to what you've had in the past, but look at a color that you want, or look for a color that you've tried to become.
Exactly.
The color that you take to your stylist and you say, this is the color I want, go for that color.
That's right.
And then because this goes on top of the entire top of your head, this will then become your color.
Exactly.
So we have 12 shades. We have soft black, darkest brown, medium warm brown, light ash brown, brown blonde balayage, dark red, dark ash blonde, medium blonde balayage, medium blonde balayage, light golden blonde, silver, and then salt and pepper. And there are more colors to come.
So which one of these colors are rooted?
The rooted colors are the light golden blonde, the medium blonde balayage, the dark, almost all of them
All of
except for
them.
the two.
Yeah, okay.
There are two that are not, which is the salt and pepper
And this one is not.
Yeah.
and the dark red. So
This blending here, I mean, you can see all the gorgeous, it looks like she's had highlights,
Yeah.
lowlights. You pay
Exactly.
a lot of money for this
That's
kind of color.
right. That's
and
right.
we know red fades,
Oh,
right?
totally.
So this
Totally.
will not fade, ladies.
Totally.
And Teresa went upstairs a minute ago. You and I were down
Yeah.
here chatting, and I'm drinking up way too much coffee. And Teresa said, "Oh, I'm going to go upstairs and get ready." She came down a few minutes later with this piece on, and we were like, okay, fancy.
Yeah.
It looks stunning.
It's beautiful.
Really,
Yeah.
really stunning.
And instantly, not that that's what we're going for necessarily, but it takes years off. When you put it on earlier, I said, you look 15 years younger.
I know.
Well, that's the thing. We were talking about this with
That's
Miss
right,
B that
right.
was just in here. You know, as we age and when you have surgery or you go through cancer or any kind of thing where your body has to be in repair, your body's in stress. The last thing to get nourished is the hair.
That's right.
So hair sheds, it falls out, but as we get older, we thin in this area, and that's what I mean by youthful hair. So by creating the toppers and adding that density just in the recede area, and then with that contour tab, it gives you all of that weight and heaviness in here. Most women, when they come and see me for a haircut, they'll say, I want a haircut like you did on Victoria Beckham, but I don't have enough hair in the front.
Right.
I want a fringe like you did on so-and-so, but my hair's too thin in front. So that this area, by giving you that density in the front, that's what makes a haircut look current, and that's also what makes a hairstyle look youthful.
Right.
And when your hormones are running crazy or you're low on estrogen, I've always wanted a hairstyle longer on the sides or even
Exactly.
fuller.
Right.
My hair does not get
That's
full
right.
here. My
That's
hair
right.
can be this long, but the sides, are not.
right.
So this is a great alternative, great option for that if you want styles that are longer on the sides.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
You can
Exactly.
pull them up, you can braid it, you can do
Wear a ponytail.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
spoke to it earlier. You know, we used to give a wig away to any
did.
woman in the world in medical need for 12 years. So there's definitely a need for wigs. But Shannon, one of the things that I loved is, you know, I followed your journey, and you've been so courageous to be so forthcoming with your journey. And you said since that you've kept wearing wigs.
Yeah.
And then now when you've tried this on, and again, there's definitely a time, you know, there's still time for wigs, but you said, wow, this is so great because the breathability under here and kind of that comfort
And
without a
again,
full
you
wig.
can see on the topper, on the underside, it has the open wefting. And this, I always would go for a piece that had the open
sure.
wefting
Yeah.
to get the airflow. It's nice and cool. This feels like I'm wearing nothing. It's so light.
And
How
you look
much
like
does
everything.
This weigh?
Oh my God, they were
I have
that's
no
ounces.
Like
idea.
an ounce.
It's
Yeah.
it's
An
really,
ounce, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah,
we should,
it's-
that's a good thing to
Yeah,
ask
we'll look
because
for
it's, there's so much coverage and so much density here, but it's so lightweight.
And without the permatease and
Yes.
all of that.
Yes,
So
yes.
you get
exactly.
the fullness without the bulk.
Exactly.
It looks modern, it looks fresh. I
Looks
know
more
our
natural.
really good friend Ilan Bongiorno's
Yes.
watching, who's my work wife. We work with Eva Longoria. Ilan actually did Victoria Beckham's makeup the first time that I did Victoria's hair. And Ilan is a great friend of mine. We've been friends forever. That's how Shannon and I met. And every time I would try a new piece or a new topper, Ilan would say to me, Kenny, I used to be a hairdresser. Let me see it. And I'd be like,
She just wanted
Ilan,
to
give me a
inspect it.
second. And she wanted to inspect it.
Yeah.
And then she was like, these are great.
Yeah.
You've got something
Yeah.
great here. And she saw that we worked for 2 years
Yeah, we did.
to really reimagine. You know, toppers have been around, hair pieces have been around. I've been using them for 30 years. But we really imagined this, in my opinion, to something very current, very modern, something that I can put on my clients who are going down the red carpet, and also my clients in the salon, but also my friends who need a
That's right.
piece. You know, hair pieces for me, this piece is not just an accessory. It's a great accessory. I think you should look however you want to look, whenever you want to look, but it's also for women who have a necessity. And there's a really fine line, and I never wanted a woman who needed hair for any medical reason to feel like, oh, I'm wearing something that tells everybody something
Right.
is wrong
Yeah.
with me.
Right.
And these are so undetectable, and that just makes me so happy to present these to you tonight on QVC at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will see you there with these lovely
We'll
ladies.
see you there.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you,
Bye.
QVC.
Bye.
See you soon.